Welcome back to Upper Michigan Today, everybody. I'm joined now by Hannah Holma, the program director of the Women's Center. Thanks a lot for joining this conversation, Hannah. Are you excited for the fashion show happening this weekend?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be super fun. Yeah.
I think so, too. It sounds like there's a lot happening with those raffles.
Yeah.
Those could draw a lot of money, I think. I mean, with the big ticket items like Disney tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to Disney since I was 7 years old, so I don't know what families are paying for tickets nowadays, but I feel like it's upwards of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Pretty good deal. So how much of these fundraising efforts go back to programs at the Women's Center? How much do you rely on fundraising efforts?
Yeah, so right now the Women's Center is a little over 60% operating on state contracts, which, you know, we never know really how much funding we're going to get from them. So things like the Nifty 250 kickoff and the fashion show this weekend supplement the rest of the things. So, you know, Pack Ratz, that comes right back to programs and services and, you know, pays for the bills and makes sure that there's food on the table at the Harbor House. So it really boosts the ability that we have to provide the programs and services to survivors.
And then if, say, the state funding is lower or you're not getting as much as you need, do you look to fill the gaps by just coming up with these fun events? What's that process like?
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. So, you know, we get a budget, we create that budget, and we know where the shortfalls are very early on into the fiscal year. So we look to things like fundraisers and local grants and things along those lines to really backfill and supplement so that we can provide all of the same level of programs and services and not have to rely or worry so much about, you know, what we're going to be getting from state contracts.
What are those programs and services?
Yeah, so we have both outreach and residential services. So residential services is the Harbor House. So it's a shelter for people who are fleeing domestic violence or sexual assault in the home and they no longer feel safe there. It's a 16-bed shelter, a temporary emergency shelter, but people stay until they can find housing of their own that's safe and affordable and really what they need for their family. At the Harbor House, we, you know, help with employment, housing, legal advocacy, basically any needs that a person may have when they're coming into shelter. And then we have non-residential or outreach services for anybody who may be looking for additional support. We also have therapy, we have support groups, we have, you know, all kinds of stuff for anybody that's looking for support while they're experiencing some of the most difficult things that they may experience.
Yeah. Do you happen to know how much money it costs to house somebody for even just a day or to feed them for a day at the Harbor House?
So the Nifty 250, the $250 is really, you know, kind of the number that we came up with. It's an average of what it may cost to have somebody in the shelter for a week. With inflation, it's probably more expensive than that at this point, but it is very expensive to operate a shelter. So.
And things are only getting more expensive.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, you know, people who have experienced domestic violence and sexual assault, it's not as stigmatized anymore in our community. So people are coming forward and saying, hey, I need help through these tough experiences. So we're seeing a lot more people come to receive services. Our shelter has been almost full this entire year. And it's a 16-bed shelter, so.
I mean, it's really sad to think that there's even a need for that in our community.
Yeah.
But it's also really wonderful to know that there is something for support and that there is a team of really caring folks. Who is on staff at the Women's Center if someone does need to go there or go to the Harbor House? Who will they interact with? Yeah,
so we have a 24-hour support line. So the number, plug that for a second, is 906-226-6611. So that support line is operated 100% by our staff. So we have about 10 staff members that make sure the shelter stays running. 24/7 we're staffed. So Jeannie is our shelter coordinator, so she's really the point of contact for a lot of people, but we have multiple advocates that work there as well. And then you can also call that number to set up outreach services. They'll connect you with an advocate. And then another important thing that we have is on our website, we do have a chat feature. So when you go to wcmqt.org, there's a chat feature on the top that connects straight to advocates here too. So you could be talking to me when you're typing and sharing your story there, so you can connect to services that way as well.
What does it mean to you to see people come out and support events like the Nifty 250, organizations like the Women's Center?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what keeps us going. You know, if it wasn't for community support, we wouldn't be able to provide the programs and services that we do. So anybody who comes in the door, even donating stuff to Pack Ratz, donating clothing to Pack Ratz, donating, you know, toilet paper, canned goods to our pantry, I mean, that is what is making sure that the people that we serve their needs are being met.
It can really make a true difference, and that's one of the best things about our community is that our people take care of our people.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank you for joining this conversation. We have just one segment left of Upper Michigan today. We're going to wrap all of this up. Share details of that event one more time when we come back.